SpaceX embarrassed NASA with their high-tech spacesuit. Who wouldn't love to be decked in some fancy high-tech spacesuit with the air of coolness that can only be matched by the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy attire? No, we don't intend to float with some virtual mask to protect us from the harsh environment. Elon Musk and SpaceX are looking to upend NASA with an attractive new look for its astronauts and future passengers of its starship. Hit the like button and watch this video to the end to learn more about how SpaceX has crushed NASA once again. Welcome to your favorite channel, Unlimited SpaceX. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more exciting news about SpaceX projects and Elon Musk's many controversies. It seems like the backdrop of every Elon Musk project rides the wave of one fictional movie down in history. We can point to Blade Runner 2049 as the inspiration for Tesla's new Cybertruck. Star Trek could be the primary motivator for some of the developments that we've seen SpaceX achieve with their rocket technology. Not all of what was presented in those movies can be replicated, but it birthed the idea of how we can create our space tech with the minimal resources that we have. SpaceX has, as a result, led the resurgence of space exploration with its big vision and exciting projects that would have remained a dream etched within the pages of a couple of papers or in some fantasy comic book. NASA is fast losing the reins of the US space science and technology to SpaceX, and they've had to look to SpaceX to help them solve some of their more nibbling problems with their rocket technology. It has happened to the end that they've begun to make use of the SpaceX patented technology, such as their rocket boosters and reusable propulsion engines. One more aspect of space technology cannot be ruled out as an element of competition between these two agencies, even though they inevitably work together and are likely to grow even closer in relation over the next few years. Although it is majorly for aesthetic appeal, the spacesuit is as good as any feature of a space project. You can imagine the thrill and excitement it would generate in the general public when they see astronauts decked out in relatively advanced suits that fit and look so cool. The traditional design of spacesuits that NASA has overseen over the last few decades have been stuffy and pretty much depicts a poor sense of fashion. No matter how serious a space mission is, there is nothing that astronauts cannot look badass in whatever gear they're wearing on board the spacecraft. They'll enjoy a significant boost to their confidence meter, as many of them will see their dream of donning a significantly high-tech spacesuit, probably with some AI speaking to them comparable to Jarvis in the Iron Man suit. A lot of these remain unregistered among the massive pile of work to be done to get a man to be able to navigate through our entire solar system. But it made for great news when SpaceX released a fantastic spacesuit design that would put NASA to shame, despite all their time spent monopolizing the space industry. Like every other Elon Musk-inspired tech, the suit is advanced and nothing like what NASA has given us. What makes the spacesuit so unique? How would people rate it with the past spacesuits that NASA has commissioned astronauts to wear every time they're on a mission? What are the technological features of SpaceX's spacesuit? We know you have so many questions, and we'll provide you with all the answers you need subsequently. A spacesuit is often referred to as an extravehicular mobility unit. It serves as a sort of containment to protect and help astronauts move relatively quickly in places where gravity is wanting. The better a spacesuit is, the more it can ensure the survival of an astronaut in the harsh environment that constitutes outer space. It functions doubly as a temperature regulator, as it helps cool down the body and provide warmth, as the case may be. It could also play host to certain sub-items like body cam, notes, or manuals to guide astronauts through their missions. Technically, it should also supply oxygen and water to help preserve the astronauts. While they're more suited for wearing outside the spacecraft, astronauts often have to adorn them within their ships. They have to work with the minimal gravitational force in their vehicle and rare occurrences of low cabin pressure. So on a mission to the moon, it's inherent that astronauts wear the spacesuit on takeoff from the Earth's surface till they hit the Earth's orbit. They'll also wear it on the moon's surface and on their way back home to Earth from the moon. Comfortability in any spacesuit is highly significant, as there can be no back scratching or limb bending activity. It requires a whole different tech level and an integrated environmental system to improve the garment. We observed that 3 types of spacesuits could be worn by astronauts, which heavily depends on where they want to wear them. You're already familiar with the extravehicular mobility unit, which astronauts can wear for any activity outside the spacecraft as being on the moon. Intravehicular action can have its own different set of spacesuits strictly designed for use in the spacecraft. Depending on the quality of the design, a typical spacesuit can be deployed for both intra- and extravehicular activity. It can be worn in the spacecraft and, let's say, on the moon. A common intravehicular spacesuit may be of lighter make with high comfortability to ensure that people can wear it inside a pressurized spaceship. The Gemini G4C suit is an example of an intra- and extravehicular activity suit that can be used inside and outside the spacecraft. Its unique design will protect astronauts from space's severe conditions. As we've seen in the past, a typical extravehicular mobility unit can be used for spacewalks on the moon's surface. We've seen several spacesuit design and models adapted by NASA and other nations' space agencies, coupled with the one currently in use at the International Space Station. One word we can use to define the current gears that they're using is archaic, like something exhumed from some ancient tomb. The SpaceX Spacesuit has been in the works since 2015, when SpaceX first revealed the design of their Dragon 2 space vehicle. Elon Musk was looking for something futuristic to go with the beautiful space carriage. He contacted one of Hollywood's leading costume designers, Jose Fernandez, who has an incredible rep for designing several high-profile superhero scientific fiction films. We cannot think of anyone more viable to work with SpaceX to create a befitting spacesuit for SpaceX's astronauts. The initial design was impressive, even though it was not pressurized and without any sensors. The significant technical aspect of it all that we saw was the thigh region, which supplies air and other electronic connections in the vacuum-compatible spacesuit. It goes with a 3D printed helmet integrated with gadgets like microphones and speakers. But the suit was not meant for extravehicular activities without a tether connection. The funny thing was that the astronauts who tested it were NASA astronauts on SpaceX's Dragon 2 spacecraft in 2018. The two of them also adorned the spacesuit in the demo launch in May 2020. They particularly enjoyed the touchscreen-sensitive gloves and cool helmets. It guaranteed oxygen and temperature regulation, which were crucial qualities that the astronauts rated highly. The tether was also reported to aid the communications and supply breathable air into the suits. We don't think that NASA can ever come back from this defeat. Even their astronauts loved what they used. Is there any challenger for SpaceX currently concerning space exploration and spacesuits in particular? Yes. We'll ignore Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and hop right on to Boeing. While SpaceX has clearly defined the rules of America's space technology, Boeing itself is very much in the fight to wrestle the right to launch NASA's missions from the grip of SpaceX. It has a unique pressure suit designed to guard astronauts during launch into orbit and re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. These are particularly critical periods in the process of any space mission. Their spacesuit is incredibly better than the old suits that American astronauts have had to wear, and it has many layers that successfully keep astronauts warm. Both SpaceX and Boeing seem to be coming for NASA's head, and from what we gathered, NASA appears to have something in the works for upgrading the spacesuits to be worn by its astronauts in future missions. But can their new designs beat SpaceX's Imperial design and application? The answers remain sketchy, given that SpaceX is pretty much keeping further information about their spacesuits under the wraps. We could be in for a surprise later this year, and the spacesuits can be rolled out for real spaceflight soon with SpaceX's impending orbital tests, which might see crewed Starship take to outer space. Please keep your comments rolling in our comments section. Let us know what you think about SpaceX's plan to build the most advanced spacesuit known to humans.